Lights on. As we wait. Lights off and away we go. Jason Katia off to a little bit of a better start against Troy Dolenchik, trying to go around the outside. Troy going and managing to get by. Looks like Quinton having to go to the middle of the circuit. Yuri Swart trying to climb his way through. Bit of contact between Sebastian Ferreira and likes of Muhammad. Unfortunately, a little bit further back, getting into a bit of contact and losing out a lot of drive as they make their way through. It looks like Mark Pollard is actually stopped. It looks like he is actually out of the running for this. Might be our first retirement. So William Marshall is a confirmed retirement right now. Unfortunately, that start did not help him and lost out a bit of time there. All right, Jude Stewart duking out with Yuri Swart as they make their way around. This is a battle for 4th and 5th place. Just ahead of them is 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Yuri Swart going and getting into that 1st place without a hitch. Mark Pollard actually stopped in the hairpin by the looks of it. Shan coming by, Lucas Sturman, Quinton Lobisher, and it looks like getting chased down. That is Sebastian Diaz trying to make his way through, going and forcing Quinton out wide.
Yeah, what I wanted to say, I think Pollard maybe got some technical difficulties going there, and that landing there up there on the side of the track. But so far, Troy Dolenchik yet in front. He's opened up a little bit of a gap over 2nd place John Henry Vaughan. John Henry Vaughan will have to keep him in check, otherwise Troy is going to run away with this one. He cannot let Troy get away and open up that gap.
But please note, Jason Couture hanging on the coattails with Yuri Swart chasing him down. Jude Stewart's also in the mix, becoming a little bit of a dark horse a little bit further up, and we have to keep an eye on that. Shan is under a bit of battle with Lucas. So the two are busy duking out. A little bit further back behind them, massive train. It's Quinton Lobisher, Andrew Thomas, and the rest of the crowd, such as Sebastian Diaz, Malvin Trollope, and it looks like Muhammad also getting onto that little bit of a battle as they all trying to force their way through, figuring out what's going to be the best way. Following in tow. Now we know the slipstream effect is major here down our main straight here at Zwartkops, so you just have to get it right. Try and eye out that inside line and go for it. The guy's taking a little bit more of a conservative approach, but looks like Muhammad going and launching it past Andrew Thomas, going and absolutely full sending it past Quinton, gets stuck, and Sebastian Diaz now trying to go side by side with him. So one full send has cost him the position by the looks of it. If he doesn't run wide, still side by side, and it's still going to be Andrew Thomas, Sebastian Diaz, and Muhammad now chasing him down. So Muhammad not giving up, with the likes of Melvin Trollope starting to catch up.
I mean, absolutely. We saw there, as soon as you lose that momentum, it can cost you dearly there. Running a bit wide, losing that drive, then you lose it all the way down to the next breaking point. And in a kart, there's not a lot of breaking points, Steve.
No, and taking a look, Andrew Thomas busy taking a big look, and he managed to get past Quinton. A little bit of contact coming from the likes of Sebastian Diaz actually clipping the wall there, and Muhammad actually moving his way through. Quinton Lobisher a little bit further down, Melvin Trollope, but Sebastian Diaz unfortunately collecting that tunnel, just missing it off by a fraction, and that has cost him severely, needing to try and claw his way back up through the field.
I mean, absolutely. A little bit of contact on that wall, I mean, that stopped him dead in his tracks, and it's going to take some time to recover from that one. 2 retirements so far. We've got William Marshall and Mark Pollard out of the race. So far, a little bit of less retirements than the previous race. We are not even halfway. A little bit of a longer race this, as we've got Troy Dolenchik battling it out with one of the back markers there, trying to get past.
No, that's John Henry Vaughan that's actually gotten ahead. So John Henry Vaughan ahead of Troy Dolenchik at the moment, managing to get by. Troy actually battling to hang on to the back of him at this point. Yuri Swart starting to close in. He's pulling Jason Couture. So worst case scenario for Troy Dolenchik. John Henry Vaughan getting by, backing him up into the field, and now it is all about full send as they make their way around.
And I'm sure Troy will try and pass, John very quickly, because as you said, he's pushing him back to the likes of Yuri Swart, one of his main championship rivals, and that's the last thing Troy would want at this stage.
So John just going and doing everything he can to try and keep ahead. You can see Troy constantly pressurizing him, putting that nose right up against the rear bumper, trying to force a mistake. John going to the middle of the circuit, going and holding back Troy. Troy trying to do a bit of a cutback, was unsuccessful in doing so. And you can see as John goes to the middle of the circuit once again, if you want to talk about going elbows out and defending your life away, well, this is it. Goes out wide though. Troy going and capitalizing on it. Dives past John, trying to battle his way back. Goes out a little bit wide, trying to carry the momentum through. Tries to go underneath him. Couldn't do that as they snake their way up. There's 8 laps so far going to be completed, 17 laps in this race. And the guys are going to have to just try and figure out what's going to be the best way to claw their way up for the maximum amount of points. As we said, 10,000 Rand split between the first 3. And absolutely fantastic that we've got some sponsorship where, yeah, the guys get to have something a bit more going into the more festive times. They can go and organize a nice gift or two. Maybe flowers for the missus for going and racing if they were meant to be having dinner together.
Or spending it all on a trophy for the series.
That works too, you know.
Yeah, something for the trophy cabinet.
Well, just taking a look. John really fighting to try and get through. And Yuri Swart going and collecting the curb once again. His Achilles heel seems to be that final curb. And it's a little bit closer onto the back of John Henry Vaughan. So now has a chance to go for that second place. Get a little bit closer to his championship rival. I think with heat number 1, for unfortunately he wasn't so great in points, he's going to have to do what he can now to get as close as possible. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult for him. John Henry Vaughan is also up for the championship, so he's really hoping to just keep on the pressure. They're starting to catch up to Sebastian Ferreira by the looks of it, and back marker coming into play. How can you box your competitor in? They're getting him on the straight though. Fortunate enough, is it going to be enough? Troy trying to go up on the inside, does so. John Henry Vaughan comes through. Yuri Swart managing to get by. Sebastian Ferreira getting absolutely swamped last minute. Troy trying to pull away. John Henry Vaughan all over the back of him. Yuri Swart, Jason Kutsia now trying to get past the back marker. You can see how it's turning into a little bit of a roughhouse for our first 3. John Henry Vaughan looking to try and send it as quick as possible as we make our way through the field though. We've got Yuri Swart in 3rd place, Jason Kutsi in 4th place, and then we've got there's Sebastian Ferreira, who's unfortunately a little bit further down. He is currently sitting in 14th place, making his way through. That's Jude Stewart coming by. He's sitting in 5th place with Lucas Durbin chasing him down. Shan Lobisher in 7th place. Andrew Thomas making his way around the final bend with the likes of Mohammed Wahib coming by, Mahir Wahib. And we've got Quinton Lobisher, Melvin Trollope, followed by Sebastian Diaz going and trying to chase him down. John Stewart finishing his way around. He's currently in 13th place ahead of Sebastian Ferreira. So the guys are really putting in an extra mile here. And unfortunately for the likes of John Stewart, he's got to keep an eye behind him as our front pack are starting to close down on him rather quickly. And it looks like there's no room for error for any of them as they make their way through. John constantly doing what he can to now defend against Yuri Swart. Yuri constantly trying to hound him. Looks to the inside line. Couldn't make a stick. John Henry Vaughan trying to go for the inside line of Troy Dolanchik. So both of these drivers just looking to get one up on one another. And Troy Dolanchik, who usually we've seen him run away in the past, now under some serious pressure at the final race and the final heat, and hoping to not get boxed in as they start catching up to John Stewart.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, John and Yuri, they maybe made some changes on the carts for this final heat, and that has allowed them to stick closer to Troy. I mean, this is a very close 3-way battle between these 3, and they are going to battle right the way to the checkered flag. We've got, say, 3 laps to go, so not long. It sounds like a long time, but these laps go by so very quickly. I mean, 42 seconds for a lap, and then your lap is over.
Yeah, it's we've seen these guys really put in the extra bit of effort. And takes a look, Troy Dolanchik going and defending that inside line like there is no tomorrow at this point, giving John Henry Vaughan the difficulty of going around the outside every single time, and Yuri Swart just loving this because he gets the inside line. He's not having to battle likes of Troy Dolanchik, so he's got a bit more space ahead of him. John going and losing out. Yuri comes by and gives a slight nudge as he forces his way through, and now has Jason Coutier looking to come in and get a little bit closer. So John Henry Vaughan a little bit baited into a move, and unfortunately that's cost him position. Yuri Swart going full send, ducking down on the inside to try and make it all work. Did so. Take a look, John Henry Vaughan. I think his tires have fallen off though, and now has Jason Coutier trying to go around the outside, trying to force him out wide. Jason going and having to fall back a little bit more.
I mean, not long now to go until the end of the race, so you know, the battle has, you know, now between Troy and Yuri, the two main championship rivals, where you said, you know, John Henry Vaughan has fallen back a bit. Maybe his tires started going off. But basically, one lap to go now, Steve, before the end of the race and the end of this championship.
That's it. Yuri Swart really trying to do what he can. Try to go up on the inside. Troy Dolanchik not allowing it to happen. John Henry Vaughan now back into the tow, pulling himself along as they make their way through over the bridge. Now into the final corner. You can see Troy Dolanchik taking that inside line. Now it's going to be across the line. White flag showing final lap, and it's all or nothing. You can see Yuri Swart try going hard up against the inside. Troy Dolanchik going and forcing it to the curb as they make their way through, which is absolutely incredible. That's allowed John Henry Vaughan to get back into the fight, and Jason Coutier as well to get back into the fight. So this is turning into a monstrous race. Troy Dolanchik not letting it go though. Yuri Swart trying his luck. John Henry Vaughan coming back, fighting strong. He's looking to try go for that inside line. Jason Coutier trying to go for the inside line. This has turned into a four-way battle for first place. Over the bridge now. There's only one corner to go. Troy Dolanchik holding that inside line. Yuri Swart trying to go around the outside. Hits a curb though. Gets it all types of wrong. Yuri Swart loses out right at the end. And that has allowed John Henry Vaughan to cross the line. Jason Coutier finishing up in third place. Yuri Swart with taking a gamble. Unfortunately dropping him down to fourth place. Jude Stewart coming across the line in likes of fifth place. Sixth place is Shan Labusher, and we've got Lucas Sturman, Andrew Thomas coming across the line, followed by Mahir Wahab, Quinton Labusher.